Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jessica Morozowich, and my family, my husband Andrew, and our children Audrey and Drew, are fairly new members of the church, although I really do feel like we've been here for many, many years already, and I think that alone speaks to this whole stewardship message of generosity in motion. What is stewardship? I really think it's important to define words. Stewardship is the careful and responsible management of something entrusted in our care. Our church, the buildings, the staff, each other, the discipleship work that we do here, it has been entrusted to us to take care of. For me and my husband, that was a big part of why we decided to focus our giving on this church. We feel a responsibility to make sure that we are caring for this place, that we are caring for these people, we're caring for each other, and that the impact we have on each other and our community can really continue to flourish and grow. The mission of the church also really matches our personal mission. Many of the causes that we feel passionate about giving to are supported already by the work that we do here. And I think our combined efforts really has way more of an impact than we could ever have individually, giving to many, many, many different causes. The other reason is a little bit more personal. It's about what this community has done for my family and my desire to find other people in our community that we can connect with and try to have the same impact for. We moved here about 2.5 years ago from a little small town in Connecticut. We didn't move because we had to. We moved because Andrew and I really wanted to be brave enough to seek out a different quality of life for ourselves, for our children, and a better future for them and all of us. It was a really, really difficult decision. We had a ton of family and friends in Connecticut, and we really were striking out on our own. It was a difficult decision for the kids to understand, and I think it still is something that they struggle with. 6 weeks before our official move, my father passed away suddenly at the age of 68. I found myself planning a funeral while planning movers for ourselves, packing up my father's home, helping to coordinate the sale of that home, while also doing the same for ours, registering our kids for school here, and all of the things that that comes with. Saying goodbye to him forever, and goodbye for now to all of our friends and family in Connecticut. Needless to say, it was a very challenging time. I know God never gives us more than we can handle, but I really felt pretty close to my brink at that point. We were all devastated, we were all struggling, and tired of goodbyes. When we made it to our new home in Wake Forest, at the end of June, it was this moment where we just wrapped ourselves in a bubble. We were really raw and a little broken. We continued to struggle through the summer to engage with our new community, to kind of find people to connect with and things to do. And I started to worry a little bit about all of our collective mental health, and felt if we could just find a church community, we would have support. We would have a family to carry us. And I felt like we really needed that in that moment. Andrew is Orthodox, I'm Catholic, and our kids were raised congregational. So, that in a nutshell says a lot. So it wasn't denomination that was important to us. It really was what the church stood for. Are they welcoming and open? That was important to us. Are they diverse? Do they have discipleship opportunities for all of us? Is there quality music? Because I need that for my soul. And most importantly, does the pastor's sermon and message speak to us? Is it something that we can connect with? So I did the online research, gleaned as much as I could from the websites, and I narrowed it down to two churches. And I did that fun process of church shopping which everybody loves. I went by myself to try to get a feel before we brought the kids in. And the day I came here happened to be All Saints' Day. And I made it through about half the service when Ave Maria started to play, and I just started to sob uncontrollably. It was my father's favorite song. It was played at his funeral. He was a musician himself. And I just couldn't make it through. I couldn't stop. So I left in the middle of the service, and I sat in my car. And I felt that that wall that I had built up to just get us here and get us through really was cracking. And the intensity of those emotions behind that wall really scared me. I had really no intentions of ever coming back here. I was embarrassed, and it felt like touching the fire a little too much. So the next weekend, I brought my family to the first church that I had attended and figured they're gonna love it, it'll all be good, we'll be settled in a church, and I can check that off my list. And so I was a little frustrated when they left and were like, no. So begrudgingly, a little bit, the next time we came here, and we sat up in the balcony, kind of hid. And after the service, they all looked at me and said, yeah, this feels like a better fit. And I really could not be more grateful for them in that moment, for doing what I know God was drawing us here, but I was too scared at that moment to take the challenge, knowing that this is where we belonged. I just knew that from that point on, once we were in the doors and had decided this was our place, and I had to kind of let go of that control, the opportunities presented themselves everywhere for us to connect, and we just had to be brave enough to take that first step to join. So Audrey started the girls' Bible study class, which was absolutely incredible. And that led to youth group, and that led to Club 4-5, and that led to volunteering and meeting other parents, and it led to new friendships for all of us, and it led to pilgrimage this past weekend. And it led to hope and healing and filling up our cups so that we could once again be people that could give and fill up others. And that, to me, is the best form of stewardship, is taking care of each other. And that is what you guys have all done for me and my family. Stewardship this past weekend was really exhausting, but it was amazing to see all these young people so completely open and unafraid to share in their faith with each other. And I saw strangers that were family. It was a safe place that they could express themselves and know that they would be accepted no matter what, simply because of their love of God. And it gave me a lot of hope for our future. We will all have heartbreaks and struggles in life. Our children will have them. We will have them. It's just guaranteed. But God doesn't promise us that if we follow him, we will lead a life of peace and prosperity. He promises that if we follow him, we will never be alone. And even in those moments where we choose not to feel him, or we shut ourselves off to what he is telling us, when we feel like we might be drowning, if we have a church family, they will remind us, and they will help carry us, and they'll bring us back. And in these incredibly uncertain times, that is everything. So I thank you for being good stewards to me and my family, and I know that you will all continue to be good stewards of this church. Thank you.